Hello, friends. Are you ready for yet another time travel? Well, what I mean is coming along with me for another trek. Brace yourself for best trekking experience, Sar Pass, a moderate to tough trek depending of course on the weather conditions. Sar in the local dialect means lake. While trekking from Tila Lotni to Biskeri Ridge, there is a small lake on your left which is usually frozen and hence the name Sar Pass Trek. Sar Pass in the Parvati Valley in Kulu district of Himachal Pradesh offers the best trekking experience right from the word go. It's a 10 days trek through varied terrains wherein we get to stay for 3 consecutive nights at heights of 11,000 to 12,500 feet. On our way to Kulu Manali up the river Beas, there is a small town Bhuntar, which is nearest airport as well. From here, a road cuts right towards Kasol and Manikaran. We go 30 kilometers up along Parvati River to arrive at Kasol. The starting point and the base camp for the trek is Kasol. No wonder this trek is grabbed the moment it opens. So, sit back, put your feet up, and let's go.
Kasol, with an acronym of Mini Israel, by itself is a sought after destination for most of the youngsters, and there are good reasons why. 3 days at Kasol makes this trek exquisite in the first place. Sitting by the side of River Parvati is sure to bring a child in you out in the open. The morning exercises are fairly elaborate and much needed before undertaking a rather demanding trek like Sar Pass. Post breakfast, we go for acclimatization walk from a 5,184 feet to 6,200. Seasoned ones know the importance of these schedules for the subsequent days. The gushing sound of River Parvati in the backdrop is so overpowering that you feel as if you belong there.
The first day seems milder the next morning, and the exercises get a little harder and the acclimatization walk till 70 to 100 feet high. Second reason that makes Sar Pass trek exquisite is that proper acclimatization preparing us for 4 days above 11,000 feet height cannot be overemphasized. These schedules definitely help all the ingredients, individuals, and groups to gel well. The net result is definitely evident in the evening cultural programs wherein all the hidden talents come to the fore.
मराठियों का फेवरेट बन
fourth day, we are queued up in the morning, assigned two guides, and the trek is flagged off with the next two batches cheering us. As we go half a kilometer towards middle of Kasol, we turn right away from Parvati River along another stream that keeps getting stronger as we go deeper into the natural terrain. This stream, as we learn, is not a river or rivulet. It is overflowing water from a natural dam up somewhere there in the wilderness. One thing that made our trek especially worth was a group of specially abled young boys and girls with vision impairment. Their commitment and discipline was exemplary to say the least. After a short break next to the stream, we stopped for lunch for an hour in a neat Israeli restaurant and courtyard. Soon we were faced with incessant rains, and we walked through the Grahan village in drenched clothes and shoes to arrive at an exquisite campsite at 7,700 feet high.
Grahan left such a deep impression on us that some of us came back to see the village as the rains paused. It is a small village with 500 odd residents and 252 voters, very neat and clean. The villagers are proud to announce that theirs is a 100% open defecation free place. Their temples are sacred and no outsiders are allowed to enter there. The locals have to render their services to build the temples or else pay a fine to the panchayat. They have their own legends and folklores. The best part of the villagers is that they don't move to the lower areas even during winters. They withstand 4 to 5 feet of snowfall with sheer love for their village. The village belongs to only two family lineages. It is tough not to fall in love with this jewel of a village. We could not have known so much about Grahan but for the presence of Lieutenant Commodore Shikhar Murray as our camp leader, who was on a holiday from services and doing an honorary job at Grahan. Upon cajoling and coaxing, we came to know of some of his finer aspects as a flutist and a painter, traits that make our forces stand apart.
In the morning, we started back towards Grahan, and just short of it, we took a steep decline towards Padri campsite, about 10 kilometers far. Other trekkers moved directly to the next destination, Mingthach. But for the sake of proper acclimatization, YHAI takes Padri halt at 9,300 feet. Rather incessant downpour was irritating for many, as it made already damp path more challenging to maneuver through. The streams were full of gushing water under precariously hanging makeshift bridges. Poor ponies have to do without the bridges though, straight through the stream.
हाँ भाई, अपनी अपनी शक्ल दिखाओ इधर, बैंक चोरो। ओ पीछे वाले सारे, ऑल ऑफ यू लुक ओवर हियर। नॉट इंटरेस्टेड? पीपल हु आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड कैन ऑल्सो। अरे वाह, अब हुई ना बात सब। या से हाई टू द कैमरा, से हेलो, हाउ इज इट सो फार? Great. Yeah. Enjoying.
We reached our lunch point so drenched that the much needed warmth was quite comforting for all of us. At 4 p.m., we arrived into a valley called Padri Campsite. Cows, mules, and a flock of sheep were there to welcome us. That evening, it continued to rain intermittently, making our campfire also a non event. The rains for the last 2 days was a clear indication that we were having a bright chance of excellent snow up there at Sar Pass. Another good reason making this trek stand out is that we had a collage of many independent treks within one trek.
The morning at Padri came with a very welcome bright sunlight. After 2 damp days, it was greeted well by all, setting a spring in our feet. By now, the water bodies crossing the springs and waterfalls were kind of way of life. But we had to cross 2 hills up and down to arrive at our destination. The path was quite steep. It took us till 4 p.m. to cover 11-kilometer path. Arriving at Ming Thatch at 11,200, it was a great sight with many purple-colored sambri flowers. From the campsite, all directions were looking different and picturesque. But the special attraction was the sunset right in front of our camps. The disappearing light making the sun brighter in the last moments was quite interesting phenomenon to watch yet again.
This video will be incomplete without making a mention and saying special thanks to these two women who joined us from Grahan. They would take us from one point to another with 4 bags each, go back to their homes, and join us back the next day again. The next morning was again bright and sunny. In the morning lineup, we were shown Nagaru right on top of the mountain in the east. We were also told by the camp leader that locals take less than 2 hours to climb it, and also that we will need till the evening to arrive at Nagaru. The scenic beauty behind was making us look back over the shoulders many a times. We could see Grahan and Ming Thatch below and realized why it is tempting to make a shortcut. Our camp leader was not wrong. As we ascended for a couple of hours, we were climbing alongside the glaciers and last part was on the snow. We arrived at Nagaru at 12,500 feet height by 4 p.m., witnessing some memorable scenic beauties along the way. Next morning would be the real deal, the Sar Pass ascent starting at 4 a.m.
Yes, we finally could start a climb at 4:30 a.m. towards east again. Steep is an understatement for the ascent as we all had to stop more than we could climb. It was all the way in the snow. We had a couple of additional snow guides with us now. They told us that we must finish the climb before the sun comes to our side of the mountain. If that happened, the snow would start to melt and we would have a very slippery condition. That's why trekkers start early. Wish we knew and started at 4 am or even earlier. The delay was from our side only. Anyhow, we could make it in time to the top of Sar Pass at 13,800 feet. The beauty around us was mesmerizing. We could see several peaks around us. Dev Tibba, Indrasan, Pind Parvati, Dhupu Glacier, Nag Kila, and Dhara Thatch.
Soon we were to arrive at a point what makes Sar Pass trek very special, the famous slides down the snow. We reached the first demonstration slide fairly soon. What a pleasure it was to slide down some 150 odd feet.
Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
What's next after the demonstration? The real stuff, isn't it? We would be climbing to the topmost point from where the longest slides were to start. We were told to secure our GoPros, cameras, and cell phones as many people lose these while sliding down. The second slide was especially long, probably 400 feet. Snow guides have to prepare the sliding conditions and then each one to go down one after the other. At the end of the slide, we have so much snow and ice flakes all around us that it is just impossible to save us from getting fully wet. We were pro by now. The third slide we did on our own and arrived at our lunch point by around 1 pm in an absolutely blissful state. We were jolted out of our complacence by the guide saying that weather is getting bad and we must rush for the last slide. We did hurry up, but hailstorm started. The last slide, in any case, was not so exciting since the snow was quite loose and we had to make an effort to slide. Many of us walked from halfway. Biscary Thatch at 11,000 feet high was still fair distance away. Lucky for us that the weather opened up as soon as we arrived there, which helped us to dry up some of our clothes. Being a very long day, we were all tired and went to bed soon.
Next morning was quite easy relatively. We started around 8:30 am to Bandak Thatch. 18 out of 62 of us decided to go to Kasol. We were told by at least two guides that we must experience Bandak Thatch in its present nascent stage before it gets famous later, and we specially came to see it. It would be in place to mention here that the thatch is as such the rooftop made of straw or leaves, and therefore all these thatches are named after the kind of local grass or vegetation available there. The descent was quite trying, and at one point we had to take help of ropes to come down to the stream. As we crossed the stream, the vegetation changed quite significantly on the other side. It was well worth to walk through the lush green forest gardens to arrive at Bandak Thatch. Since this was the last night for many of us, we decided to light a bonfire, which was possible for the locals, our guides, to organize for us. Last morning was also easy. We had to trek for 4 hours to arrive at Barshani village. Along the way, we crossed some very interesting small villages with intriguing panchayat buildings and scenic landscapes. From Barshani, we took bus at midday to arrive at Kasol.
Ours was by far the most successful trekking experience, wherein we enjoyed each and every ingredient possible at Sar Pass. Rains, hailstorm, slides, you name it. Another credit-worthy thing to mention here is that in our group we had very experienced musicians, singers, photographers, so it was quite a heady cocktail for all of us. Friends, before saying goodbye, I must make a very pertinent point here. Plastics do help nature in many more ways than one, but left in nature, they do create havoc. Please do bring back every single bit of plastic that you carry along. Love Himalayas for it to love us back. Here's your friend and host signing off on Sar Pass. Have a great trekking experience.